Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. We got a big show for you today. Happy Saturday. Yes, we made it through another week. Yes, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Why does it seem like on Fridays, like towards the end of the day, everything just happens? Like there was so much stuff that happened yesterday. I had to like cut a lot of the stuff out because this show would have been 4 hours long. And I try to keep it around an hour. But yesterday there was just so much stuff that happened. It was a dumpster fire on Twitter. It was crazy. So I just had to pick out the most interesting ones and talk about them. So I have like literally a bunch of topics, and I'm not dwelling on any topic for very long because there's so much stuff to talk about. But some of the most interesting ones I thought I'm going to get into today. Joe Rogan. Have you guys ever heard of Joe Rogan? Yes, the famous comedian / podcaster. Yes. He is releasing a stand-up special on Netflix, and he announced this on X. I think this is like his first one he's done in like 6 years. But he announced this on X, where he posted a promo photo that subtly trashes Kamala Harris. I had to like do a double take. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? So we're going to take a look at that, as well as a recently unearthed video that shows that Alex Jones may actually have been the reason why Joe Rogan started his podcast in the first place. We have a video of Alex Jones talking to Joe Rogan. I think they're in a hotel room or something like that. And this was before Joe Rogan ever was into podcasting. So it's a very interesting video. Donald Trump has accepted Kamala Harris's challenge to a debate. And we have good news. It appears that it will be on Fox News. Once again, this proves what an incredible negotiator Trump is. He did the impossible. He was apparently able to get a Democrat to debate him on Republican turf. Amazing. That's unheard of. Never happens. I guess it hasn't happened till it happens. So I guess we'll check that out and see what happens whenever the date rolls around. Kamala Harris. Yeah, guys, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about Kamala. But I guess that is what we are doomed to talk about for at least a few more months. But Kamala Harris has officially been selected by the elites of the Democrat Party to be their presidential nominee. I know it seemed like she was the nominee, but until yesterday, she actually wasn't the nominee. But she made history. It was very impressive for this woman. She is the first woman of color to be the Democrat nominee. And also, I think this one is a little bit more significant than that. She is the first nominee to not get a single vote in the primary. What? Wait, the Democrat Party have put up this candidate as their nominee when they didn't get a single vote from the democracy of people, and they're called the Democrat Party? I think we should come up with a different name for the Democrat Party. And also, people are trying to argue that Kamala is not a DEI hire. But myself, it seems like Kamala is not just a DEI hire, but she is the embodiment of DEI itself. She is DEI. She has achieved DEI symbiosis. What do you guys think about that? I think so. A Philadelphia journalist says a staffer for Philly Mayor Sherelle Parker accidentally posted a video announcing Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was Kamala Harris's VP pick. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Just like randomly, this mayor from Philly posted it on her Twitter. Everyone's freaking out. Is Shapiro going to be Kamala Harris's VP pick? And let me tell you, the video looks legit. It looks like an actual, like it's, I'm just gonna have to show you guys. It's not. It doesn't seem like something that was. That's just a hoax. It looks like it was actually a promo. But Kyle Rittenhouse said he would not vote for Donald Trump, but instead he said he would write in Ron Paul. And in the video, because he released this in a video, he said he made his decision and that there were no takebacks. No takebacks. Wow. Looks like he's pretty firm on that. So we'll find out if he's taken it back yet or not. Judge Juan Merchan's daughter, Lauren Merchan, is being investigated by the House Judiciary Committee. ActBlue is being investigated for unusual campaign contributions. Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe says that the police officers sent out radio communications warning the Secret Service before Thomas Crook started pew-pewing at Donald Trump. But he says that the Secret Service, strangely, oddly enough, never received these radio communications. What? That's weird. And also, as of today, still nobody has been fired from the Secret Service. Wow. I want a job in the Secret Service. It may actually be impossible to get fired from that place, regardless of what you do. It's crazy. And finally, thousands of Democrats and illegal immigrants march on Washington, demanding that illegals be granted the right to vote. Yes, we knew it was coming, guys, and they arrived in Washington. But before we get into the show, if you could leave a like on this video, it would really help me out, because when you like the video, it helps me get seen in more feeds, and I want to be seen in more feeds. So I'd appreciate it. And if you really enjoy this video, consider subscribing. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the show. Joe Rogan is releasing, let me go full screen with this. He's releasing a special on Netflix, and this is the post that he X'd out or tweeted out or posted out, however you say it. I don't know. But this is his post, the promo photo. It says, Netflix stand-up, Joe Rogan, burn the boats. And then he has Kamala Harris in the foreground holding up a sign. This was posted yesterday. Just to give you some context of when this was posted. Kamala is holding the sign that says, only one more day until Joe Rogan's live special on Netflix. And it says Saturday, August the 3rd, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, why is this a subtle dig on Kamala Harris? Well, if you notice, Kamala is in the foreground and Joe Rogan is in the background. And if you also notice, Joe Rogan is behind bars. And if you notice even more, he is smoking a doobie. Okay? Now, what does Kamala Harris have to do with prison and marijuana? I wonder. Well, first of all, I mean, we know that Kamala Harris is a prosecutor or a former prosecutor. But second of all, she is pretty well known, at least she was in the past before the media started to try to memory hole everything from the public's mind. But she is pretty well known for sending marijuana users to prison. Very well known, in fact. When she was a prosecutor, even though she has this whole pro-black stance now, right? This is a big issue for the minorities, because they always say that they are getting targeted more than, shall we say, white people. So this has always been a really big issue with the minorities. The marijuana, legalization of marijuana. And Kamala Harris is one of the worst when it came to this. This is an article written by the Daily Mail. They say Kamala Harris convicted almost 2,000 for marijuana violations and sent many to prison. Now she laughs at Kamala Kush, like a name of a marijuana strain now. So weed variety, and says pot smokers shouldn't be jailed. Yet she was one of the biggest ones that did this. Vice President Kamala Harris appeared surprised Tuesday after she learned that a special variety of marijuana had been named after her, even as she has a record of sending marijuana smokers to jail. Jimmy Kimmel revealed the details to the vice president of the strain of marijuana named Kamala Kush. So what they're trying to do here, guys, is they're trying to memory hole and brainwash everybody in the United States into forgetting about Kamala Harris's past, where she was one of the ones that prosecuted these marijuana smokers. And Jimmy Kimmel, the topics that they talk about on these shows, they're not accidents. They are not accidents. They know what Kamala Harris has done in her past. They know this would be a huge point of contention for the minority community. So what does he do here instead? He brings up, hey, did you hear that there's a new strain of weed named after you, Kamala Kush? And she does her laugh. Oh, wow, that's so cool. And all of a sudden she's cool with the marijuana users. That's what they're trying to do here. These topics on these shows are 1,000,000,000% not just random accidents. But Kimmel said he was surprised that the developers of the strain had not sent her a sample, but Harris said she was not interested. Harris repeated her newfound position that marijuana users should not be prosecuted and sent to jail. She says, look, I think we both agree people shouldn't have to go to jail for smoking weed. However, as a district attorney in San Francisco, Harris prosecuted more than 1,900 marijuana convictions. Harris has since endorsed legalizing marijuana despite opposing a 2010 California ballot that would legalize recreational use of the drug for adults. During her interview with Kimmel, Harris denounced previous efforts to stop people from using marijuana. There was a time people would say marijuana is a gateway drug. These are failed policies. Harris said the resources used by law enforcement to enforce marijuana laws should be redirected towards counseling. So Harris really is attempting to make everyone forget about this prior stance on marijuana and the fact that she ruined a lot of lives. Quite literally. Now, I'm not a marijuana user, but I myself, I know marijuana users, and I don't think anyone should be personally sent to jail for it. You know, I think the going to jail or prison for that is way worse. The effects of that is way worse than you actually using weed, you know. And she sent almost 2,000 people to prison. Imagine how many lives that messed up, how many families that broke apart. Because going to prison, I mean, I can't imagine. I've never been to prison, but I can't imagine it's a very fun place to be. Probably pretty stressful. Stresses yourself personally, your family, those connected to you, then your job opportunities. I think that's probably you're worse off than if they would have just left you alone. But another video I found that was pretty interesting on X. This is Alex Jones. This is in 2003, since we're talking about Joe Rogan still. In 2003, this is 6 years before he started his podcast. Alex Jones is talking to Joe Rogan about how important it is for these people, these leaders, to speak out and relay information because our mainstream media, our media companies, are, I mean, for lack of a better term, brainwashing everybody. Listen.
Gets back to people need to start valuing information, valuing being informed. And Joe, that's why it's important that, you know, the few intelligent celebrities like yourself that are actually involved and want to talk about this stuff and are concerned. We need to see more of our leaders who aren't just in government but are in other facets of society stepping up and telling folks that this is important because you're leaders. You're a leader. And so it takes leadership. We need more real leadership that won't be bought and paid for by the military-industrial complex that's basically buying up our society.
How about the secret agent exposed in the CIA? Turn to the news right now, man. Look.
There it is.
Secret agent exposed.
Wonder what this is.
You know, 20% of all the people that work for the CIA are undercover. 20%.
Yeah, spying on their other
20%. They either have jobs overseas, you know, where they're supposedly doing one thing, but they're
Most
actually
of them are in
doing
the
another
media.
thing.
Most of them are in the media.
How crazy is that?
A lot of these guys you see reading off teleprompters on national news, this is admitted, get CIA paychecks on top of it.
Isn't that supposedly the story with Dan Rather? Wasn't there like a big thing on Dan Rather?
A lot of these guys, yeah.
So, wow. Wow, that's wild to see. Joe Rogan, he looks so young in that video. It's crazy. Then it's also crazy. I mean, the CIA pays certain news broadcasters. He was talking about that. This was years ago. Years ago. And I mean, just in the decades later, now 2024, you look at the public, their eyes are opening to what is going on with our media. It's pretty incredible. And Joe Rogan has been a big part of this, spurred on by Alex Jones, the OG. Alex Jones was like the OG. And they came after Alex Jones with all they had, right? A $1 billion settlement that he has to pay. He can't go into bankruptcy. They're not allowing him to do that. So, very interesting. Two titans in the real truth information space together years ago, and look where it is now. It's pretty wild to see. But we have good news, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has said that he will debate Kamala Harris. This is what he said. He did 2 posts on True Social. This is the first one that he posted. A little bit long-winded on both of them. He said, as everyone knows, the Democrats have unconstitutionally taken a candidate who has acknowledged to be defeated and unceremoniously replaced him with a new candidate that has never been done before and is a threat to democracy. True. But I am totally prepared to accept the results of this coup and replace Joe on the debate stage with crazy Kamala Harris. I spent hundreds of millions of dollars, time, and effort fighting Joe, and when I won the debate, they threw a new candidate into the ring. Not fair. But it is what it is. Nevertheless, different candidate or not, their bad policies are the same, and this will be strongly revealed at the September 4th debate. I look forward to meeting and debating Kamala Harris on September the 4th. This date is convenient and appropriate in that it is just prior to the September 6th start of early voting in 2024 presidential election. I look forward to seeing everyone on September the 4th in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And then he went on to say in another post, this right here. I have agreed with Fox News to debate Kamala Harris. So that's good news. This will be held on Fox News, and it even says who the debate moderators will be. So this is going to be Wednesday, September the 4th. He says the debate was previously scheduled against Sleepy Joe Biden on ABC, but has been terminated in that Biden will no longer be a participant. And I am in litigation against ABC Network and George Stephanopoulos. I you know what? I see all of these variations of his name so much, I completely forgot how to even say his actual names. Stephanopoulos, I think is how you say his name. Thereby creating a conflict of interest, so he can't do it on ABC because there's a conflict of interest. The Fox News debate will be held in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at a site in an area to be determined. The moderators of the debate will be Brett Baer and Martha McCallum. Now, I know who Brett Baer is. I'm not sure who Martha McCallum is. You guys probably know. I don't have cable TV. I don't have any of that, so I don't watch. I just see what I see on clips online. But he says, and the rules will be similar to the rules of my debate with Sleepy Joe, who has been treated horribly by his party. He's defending Joe Biden? Wow. But with a full arena audience. Yes! So there will be an audience, there will be hand claps, there will be clapter. Yes, that's going to be a great debate. So Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, fantastic. But ladies and gentlemen, we have some great news for you. I know that you were really wondering about this one. Congrats to Vice President Kamala Harris for receiving enough votes from delegates to become the Democrat Party's nominee for president. This was reported on by ABC News here.
Really
Listen.
Locked up this nomination at lightning speed, making history along the way.
And the history, Whit, is worth noting. This is now the first time that a black woman, a person of South Asian descent, will be at the top of the ticket. Only the second woman.
Wait, hold on. Do you guys think they're going to mention this is also the first time a nominee has been installed into a party with 0 primary votes? Like I said, I feel like that's a little bit more significant than this whole, she's a, woman of color line. I wonder if ABC is going to say that, but let's continue this and check.
To ever achieve that. And as you said, this has happened at absolute lightning speed. It was just 12 days ago, 12 days, Whit, that she first became a candidate. Now, less than 2 weeks later.
They're reporting that like it's a good thing. Oh, this happened so fast. Whoa. It happened in a blink of an eye. It's like they're acting like, oh, wow, she got so much support so fast. They all just decided, I guess Kamala's our nominee. It's like, okay, guys, come on. It's just crazy, guys. I don't know, just the way, their tone of voice and how they talk about things like this, as if everyone doesn't know. This was a complete coup job.
Now crossed that threshold, earning enough delegates to become the Democratic Party's nominee. We have never in our nation's history seen something like this. And now we are going to be on this remarkable 95-day sprint to the finish. It is going to be a well-funded sprint. Her campaign this morning announcing just in the last 2 weeks, they have raised $310 million, a record haul. You heard Kamala Harris there. She says she is ready to fight. She is ready to win. And the next big thing, Whit, of course, is that she now is making that most consequential decision of who will be joining her on this ticket.
Yeah, and we do have something on who might be joining Kamala Harris on the ticket. I'm not sure if this guy actually will, but we'll talk about it here in a second. Doug Imhoff, Kamala Harris's totally straight husband, came out and congratulated his wife on her nomination. Listen.
Congratulations, honey. I am so proud of you. You're going to get this done. You're going to be the next president of the United States. Congrats.
Short and sweet. How sweet. Just a husband supporting his wife. Yes. But Kamala Harris, she's been getting a lot of money, a lot of donations from corporations and different individuals who are corrupt. And they want to continue their corruption. So therefore, they got to donate to a party, to a candidate who will allow them to do so. So what are they doing with this money, I wonder? Well, according to Aiden Ross, so this streamer is also, apparently he's supposed to have Donald Trump on his stream at some point. This is the biggest streamer. He was the biggest streamer on Twitch before he got kicked off because Twitch is woke, owned by Amazon is woke. And now he went to Kick, which is like a free speech streaming platform that's actually pretty massive now. It's one of the biggest streaming platforms on the internet now. And now he's the biggest streamer on Kick. Gets hundreds of millions of views on his live streams. So he has a lot of connections to different individuals kind of in this world. Streamers, rappers, that kind of world. So he's friends because he's friends with these rappers and these different individuals because he can bring them on his stream and it promotes, their brand, their music, and kind of vice versa. It brings his stream to their audience, them to his audience. So it's just kind of like a relationship that they help each other. So he knows a lot of these rappers, and he says that Kamala Harris is paying rappers to appear on stage with her, paying rappers and artists to endorse her. This is what he says. It's pretty crazy. Listen.
I have so much love and respect for Quavo as an artist. I really wish I didn't see what Quavo did. You know, Kamala Harris is DMing rappers. She DM'd Snot. Snot posted on Twitter, which I respect Snot for doing. She's trying to endorse rappers to come and do it. Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo, they probably took a bag to go to the conference and stuff. It's sad, bro. It's really, really sad. I wish they didn't do that. But that's why it's free Tory. And again, guys, it is what it is. It is what it is. And again, if Trump were to do that, have Megan Thee Stallion twerk I have so much love and.
So Megan Thee Stallion, of course, she performed at Kamala Harris's rally in Atlanta. And when he says she took a bag, if you guys don't know what that means, it just means she got paid a lot of money. Okay. She got paid. We don't know how much, but considering how famous and popular Megan Thee Stallion is as a rapper, as a degenerate rapper, but rapper nonetheless, she probably got a lot of money. She probably got in the millions of dollars to perform in Atlanta. Because why? Because Kamala Harris is doing her best, and the campaign is doing their best to create this veneer of support and hype around Kamala Harris. And they have to work really hard because Kamala Harris, most of you guys know, she doesn't have a good track record. She doesn't have a good reputation. Her reputation is very, if you look back, she has always been disliked heavily. So now they're trying to astroturf this to make her seem and appear cool. That was the whole Kamala is brat thing. Now they're trying to appeal to minorities with these rappers and these musicians and stuff. They're paying social media influencers tons of money to post about Kamala Harris. So they're putting this money to work. And I will say that I can even see it on my end too. When I go on social media or Twitter, I don't know how many people she's got working for her, but I am constantly seeing Kamala Harris, pro Kamala Harris stuff on Twitter. It's crazy. It's more than I've ever seen before in my life. You go to the For You page on X, it's bonkers. But let's move to Kamala Harris, potential nominee for vice president. What do you guys think of this? This is pretty crazy. So this was tweeted out by Colin Rugg. He says, just in, Philadelphia journalist Ernest Owen says that a staffer for Philly Mayor Sherrell Parker accidentally posted a video announcing Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was Kamala Harris's VP pick. This journalist Owen says that there is a firestorm going on right now because apparently this was an accident. This was not supposed to happen. I also read that this staffer scheduled this video to go out at a certain date and time, and they hit the wrong day. Something like that. I saw that as a rumor as well. I'm not really sure. This is it says so right here in the same video. He says this video was scheduled for Monday after VP Harris was expected to announce her pick. So that's what it was. It was scheduled. She thought she scheduled it for Monday to go out on Monday. But she might have fat fingered it and hit the wrong day. Or there's also a conspiracy theory out there that this is a push from Shapiro to force Kamala Harris's hand because there's been quite a few scandals in Shapiro's past that can be dug up and used against him, including a sexual assault scandal. And potentially Kamala Harris has said no, or the Kamala Harris campaign has said, no, we can't pick Josh Shapiro. You know, he's too tainted. And someone had this idea of maybe he's trying to force their hand. And this was not an accident after all. But of course, the theories are swirling around. But this is the video that was leaked on Twitter. Listen.
Philadelphia, we got work to do. We're ready to rumble, y'all.
I'm
Billionaire Sherelle Parker, here with leaders from across our region. Kamala Harris is on the road to victory.
And the road goes through Pennsylvania.
And in Pennsylvania, we're united behind her. The woman that's tough and can lead.
Are we ready to fight for it?
She is the right person at the right time for this job.
It's going to do right by labor. It's going to do right by working people.
And I can't think of a better partner than our Governor Josh Shapiro.
His policies have not only supported the working class, but have set standards for progressive leadership that benefits all citizens.
Philadelphia building trades.
IBW for Kamala Harris. Montgomery County. Bucks.
County.
Delco.
Chester.
Northeast, South Philly, North Philly for Kamala Harris.
We're getting behind Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris for president. And Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro for vice president. Now we need you. Let us and Kamala Harris know you stand with her. Together, we can do this. We are one city.
One region.
One Commonwealth. Kamala Harris.
That looks real. That looks like a real ad. That doesn't look like something that is fake. That looks completely real. Plus, it comes from, let's see. Let's go to the actual post from this journalist. So this is the journalist, apparently, that talked about this being an accident. Let's see what they posted about this. I haven't been to this is the first time I've been to their Twitter account. So I don't even know what he said. So I'm going down. Posted about Josh Shapiro right here. Josh Shapiro abandoned a 31-year-old claim that he volunteered for the Israeli military. Wait, Josh Shapiro was in the Israeli military? That's crazy. So, I don't know. Apparently that's a journalist that posted that this was an accident, that this, in fact, was supposed to go out on Monday, and that it was a staffer that accidentally leaked this. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this Kamala Harris's VP, or do you guys even really care? I really don't care. I was kind of hoping it'd be Pete Buttigieg. That'd be kind of... Could you imagine Pete Buttigieg? Oh, that'd just be the perfect ticket. Kamala and Booty Juice. Oh, that'd be so good. Kamala, Buttigieg, ticket. Oh, that's like the ticket from hell, guys. Oh, the woke ticket from hell. That's just crazy stuff. But guys, I'm sick of talking about Kamala Harris. Okay, can we just move on? Stop forcing me to talk about Kamala Harris. I'm tired of it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going nuts, okay? It's making me go insane. Let's talk about something cooler, like all of the drama on Twitter with Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's talk about that. Kyle Rittenhouse literally broke Twitter when he posted this video saying he was not going to vote for Trump, but instead he was going to write in Ron Paul. Yes, watch this. Take off the mute. What is it?
Restructure for Texas gun rights.
Hold on, guys. My computer is going insane right now.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
Does anybody else find this kind of creepy? Not really the fact that he's supporting, or he's saying that he's going to write in Ron Paul, but the fact that he doesn't seem to really be cognizant of anything he's really even saying. He's just reading, looks like he's reading a script, and I would bet any kind of money on it that he didn't write the script himself. Kyle Rittenhouse, to me, this is my take on it. He is a guy that did a thing in the past that thrust him into the spotlight. Of course, in Kenosha, he did that thing at that riot that caused 3 people to be deceased. And it was in self-defense, quite obviously so. The Democrats and the corporate press came after him, lying about him and about what he did. Clearly lying. The DA went after him like crazy. It was insane. He went after him so hard that he was even altering evidence to try to get this guy thrown in prison. And if it weren't for the MAGA movement, he would probably be in prison today. So he comes out, he endorses Ron Paul, says he is not going to vote for Donald Trump because of Donald Trump's track record on the Second Amendment. But he kind of does seem to not realize that, hey, if Kamala Harris were actually to be president, she has said multiple times that she was going to support a mandatory gun buyback. So I don't know who got to him. I don't know who wrote this statement for him. I just think he's not that bright of a guy, honestly. Just a young guy that got thrust into the spotlight, and now he's dealing with after effects of it all. He's become a mouthpiece for different causes and whatnot, and he's trying to deal with it how he deals with it. And I think it's pretty funny because he did this, and so many people on Twitter took it so personally. I'm like, I really don't care. Like, to me, Kyle Rittenhouse, he's not going to have really any effect on who I endorse or not. I don't find the guy particularly bright or smart or articulate. I think he just fell into where he is today from just one thing he did years ago. But there were certain accounts on Twitter that really, really were bothered by what Kyle Rittenhouse said. And one of these was Cat Turd. I don't know if you guys know who Cat Turd is, but he is a large right-wing account on Twitter. I looked for the original tweet. I don't know if he deleted it or not, but this is a screenshot because I saw this actually as soon as Kyle Rittenhouse did this. Cat Turd was very upset by Kyle Rittenhouse's video on Twitter. He said, "Bye forever. I can't stomach a lot of things, but backstabbing millions who supported you at your lowest and turning on Trump right after he got shot. Can't stomach it. Won't put up with it. Forgotten forever." And then he blocks. He screenshots and he blocked Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, he does speak the truth here. Kyle Rittenhouse probably would be in prison today if it wasn't for independent journalists, independent media coming to his defense. But Cat Turd being this affected by him to the point where he blocks and he posts about it. It's like, listen, bro, I mean, I understand, but it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit of an overreaction. But only a few hours later, after saying that there were no takebacks, Kyle Rittenhouse, he had a change of heart, believe it or not. He posted this. Over the past 12 hours, I've had a series of productive conversations with members of the Trump team, and I am confident he will be the strong ally gun owners need to defend our Second Amendment rights. My comments made last night were ill-informed and unproductive. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump and encourage every gun owner to join me in helping send him back to the White House. So I guess he took it back. He said no takebacks. He took it back. I was on Veteran Biker Show last night, and we were talking about this. I was like, listen, the guy, I've been kind of a libertarian in the past. I've known a lot of libertarians, and a lot of libertarians are like, they won't budge on principles. And he said he was going to support Ron Paul, which every MAGA person, every Trumper loves Ron Paul. I said, if I had a choice between Ron Paul for president and Donald Trump, and there was two buttons and I could push one of them, know that for sure that person was going to be the president, I would smash that Ron Paul button so many times. I love Ron Paul. He's fantastic. But that's just not reality. But I don't know if he's got an advisor that's so libertarian, that's one of these people, libertarians, that just don't budge on principles whatsoever, and they don't see the reality behind where the country is right now. Because I've heard this before, that this is the most important election of our lifetimes. But this time this is the only time I actually believe that. Because we're in a pretty dire spot when it comes to who we put into the White House, because our institutions are becoming way too powerful and way too corrupt, way too fast. It's pretty crazy. But after Kyle Rittenhouse posted his retraction, cat turd, just, a little bit of drama for you guys, he accepted the apology. He said, "I was harder on you than anyone else, but I can't hold a grudge when a man apologizes. Just remember, when it was political poison to take your side, Trump and MAGA was there for you during your lowest point." So, cat turd. Do you guys know what cat turd even looks like? Here, let me go to his Twitter account really quick, just to show you the guy that's just going nuts after Kyle Rittenhouse. So that's cat turd, the one on the right, the one in the cowboy hat. That is, in fact, cat turd. I'm not sure how his whole account got started. His picture is a picture of a cat with a pair of glasses on. He's a good follow on Twitter. He is. But I just thought it was funny how affected he was by Kyle Rittenhouse, this kid who decided to make a statement and then really quickly retracted it. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm glad he retracted it, but like I said, it does make me kind of lose a little bit of respect for him, just because he said that he was not going to have any takebacks. So therefore, can you take the guy at his word? I don't think so. But moving on, Lauren Merchan is being investigated. The House Judiciary Committee, this is breaking by Laura Loomer. The House Judiciary Committee just sent this letter to Lauren Merchan, the daughter of Judge Juan Merchan, asking her to turn over business records and communications between herself and her client, the Biden-Harris campaign. So let's look at the letter itself. You guys remember, this is one of the big contentions that Donald Trump and all of us had with this hush money / falsification of business documents trial, because this judge was allowed to preside over this trial while his daughter, his own flesh and blood, his daughter was the head of this organization called Authentic Campaigns that raises money for Democrats, and not just any Democrats, some of the most weaponized Democrats against Donald Trump that there can be. Adam Schiff, Gretchen Whitmer, Joe Biden, his actual opponent at the time. Joe Biden. They raised money for Joe Biden. She raised, I think the official number was $95 million off of her dad's trial for Authentic Campaigns and for these different opponents. So people were wondering, well, if she's doing this and her dad's presiding over the trial, why is it not throwing into question her dad's fairness presiding over this trial? I mean, I think anyone could kind of look at that and see a conflict of interest there, right? I can, at least. I think it's crazy. And not only that, but when Donald Trump started speaking out about it, the judge put a gag order in place on Donald Trump, saying that he cannot talk about members of the court's family members. So not only is this guy presiding over the trial with his daughter raising money for the Democrats and some of the most weaponized Democrats against Donald Trump, but also he has gagged Donald Trump from even talking about it. It's insanity. And he just, the Court of Appeals reinforced this gag order just the other day even. So the House Judiciary Committee, this is who they're looking into to try to figure out what the heck is actually going on here. They sent a letter to Lauren Merchan. Probably a strongly worded letter. I would prefer a subpoena, but it's good they're at least starting the investigation. Dear Ms. Merchan, the Committee on the Judiciary is conducting oversight of politically motivated prosecution by state and local officials. Last year, New York County District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who campaigned for office on the promise of prosecuting President Donald J. Trump, used a convoluted and novel legal theory to indict President Trump on charges that federal officials had previously declined. The committee has heard expert testimony explaining Bragg's abuse of prosecutorial authority and detailing the conflicts of interest of the presiding judge, Judge Juan Merchan. Experts have raised substantial concerns with Judge Merchan, your father, refusing to recuse himself from President Trump's case despite your work on behalf of President Trump's political adversaries and the financial benefit that your firm, Authentic Campaigns, could receive from the prosecution and conviction. Accordingly, as the committee continues its oversight, we believe you possess records that will inform legislative reforms to address the weaponization of the judicial system. Page 2. Authentic Campaigns, this is the firm that Lauren Merchan runs, is a Chicago-based progressive political consulting firm. Political consulting is code word for we raise money for these different high-profile political figures. They're not exclusive. They don't say exclusively Democrat, but, obviously they are. Because you can go on their actual website, Authentic Campaigns, and you can see all of their prior clients. Gretchen Whitmer, Adam Schiff, Joe Biden. They've worked for various 501c3 organizations and whatnot. But it says, during your time working on behalf of Vice President Harris, Authentic Campaigns received over $7 million in compensation for its services. $7 million. So not only I didn't even know this. I didn't know she worked for Harris. I didn't see that on the website. But not only did she work for Joe Biden, Donald Trump's former opponent, she worked for Donald Trump's current opponent. So for both of his opponents in this race, it's crazy. According to your now deleted LinkedIn, after Vice President Harris dropped out of the Democrat primary, you were promoted to president of Authentic Campaigns. So she was president of this organization. And they say Authentic Campaigns then conducted work for the 2020 Biden-Harris campaign, which included digital paid media design and development, social media, mobile messaging, and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, what? According to Authentic Campaigns' website, Authentic Campaigns sought to harness the potential of conversation AI for presidential campaign marketing to connect the Biden campaign with undecided voters in crucial swing states, particularly those unreachable through traditional means due to COVID-19 restrictions. And then on April 4th, 2023, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg indicted President Trump with 34 counts of falsifying business records. Since the indictments, 2 of Authentic Campaign's top clients, Representative Adam Schiff and the Senate Majority PAC, have raised at least $93 million, so it was $93 million, in campaign donations while referencing the indictments in their solicitation emails. See, this is what's insane. $93 million have been raised for the most, Adam Schiff, out of all of them, is probably the most weaponized lying piece of garbage against Donald Trump. And his campaign, himself, and the Senate Majority PAC, that is a PAC for Democrats, have raised $93 million off of this trial that the president of Authentic Campaigns, Lauren Merchan, her dad, is conducting, is overseeing in New York. $93 million. And they're raising the money based off, they're soliciting money referencing this trial, Lauren Merchan's dad's trial. And this is not a conflict of interest. And then when Donald Trump points it out, he gets slapped with a gag order that has been reinforced, 2 or 3 times now? Not just by the judge, but by the Court of Appeals in New York. But it goes on to say, notably, according to one report, Representative Schiff's campaign for U.S. Senate has received $20 million in aid since he began soliciting donations off of the presumptive GOP presidential frontrunner's unprecedented 34-count indictment last April. The Senate Majority PAC similarly has pocketed $73.6 million since it also began firing off fundraising emails following the ex-president's indictment. At a minimum, there is a perception that you and authentic campaigns could profit considerably from President Trump's prosecution in a forum overseen by your father. Yeah. This is, I think there's one more page after this. Oh, here we go. This is fascinating here. In testimony to the committee experts, experts have explained how Judge Merchan made several errors before and during President Trump's trial that violated due process, infringed upon his First Amendment rights, and prevented him from receiving a fair trial. Among other fundamental errors, Judge Merchan admitted into evidence plainly inadmissible, irrelevant, and prejudicial testimony against President Trump while limiting President Trump's ability to rebut it. Judge Merchan issued a gag order to prevent President Trump from making statements about the judge's family members, including you and your political advocacy work. Wow, what a coincidence. He's just worried about the safety of his daughter, right? Yeah, right. On behalf of the Democrats, Judge Merchan refused to recuse himself despite his close ties to Democrat-aligned interests and the likelihood that your political advocacy firm could benefit financially from his rulings. Judge Merchan's bias was so obvious that one former federal prosecutor, a left-wing legal analyst, disagreed forcefully with Judge Merchan's decision not to recuse, stating that he absolutely should have recused himself. Judge Merchan's conflict of interest and biases in the case against Donald Trump, the Republican nominee in the upcoming 2024 presidential election, implicate serious federal interests. Congress has a specific and manifestly important interest in preventing politically motivated prosecutions of the current and former presidents, especially in venues in which real or perceived biases exist. The House is currently considering legislation informed by the committee's oversight that would remedy politically motivated local prosecutions by allowing a current or former president to remove the case to a more neutral forum in federal court. If such a measure were in place at the time, Judge Merchan would not have presided over President Trump's trial. So this last part, they ask for different information related to Laura Merchan's business dealings. I'm glad that they're finally looking at this, guys, because this is one thing that really bothered me during this trial. I mean, put aside the fact that the trial should never, come to light anyways. There are so many things wrong with this trial, including Matthew Colangelo. We won't get into all that, but that one thing about Laura Merchan, I was like, how is this guy, Judge Merchan, allowed to preside over the trial when his own daughter is raising money for these weaponized Democrats against Donald Trump? They are the most outspoken Trump haters in the entire world. Like they are literally the definition of Trump derangement syndrome. These guys, these people, Adam Schiff at least, especially Adam Schiff. And she raises money for this guy, and her own dad is presiding over a trial. And then her own dad puts a gag order on Trump. It's mind-boggling. But this is authentic campaigns. Once again, I think I've brought this up on the show before. Look at some of their the work that they've done. National Immigration Law Center, Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, President Biden, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Katie Hobbs, some of these nonprofits Immigrant Justice Fund, United Nations Populations Fund, House Majority Forward, Senate Majority PAC. That's one of the ones that they raised a lot of money during this trial for. Adam Schiff and Senate Majority PAC. Governor Tina Kotek, Senator John Hickenlooper. I mean, they're a totally weaponized fundraising company for the Democrats. Which, whatever, that's not illegal, but the problem arises when your dad is prosecuting or is presiding over a trial against Donald Trump. And then all these things mysteriously are going in favor of the prosecution. Guys, I read almost every line of the transcript that was written on Twitter about this trial, and it was bonkers. 99% of things went the way of the prosecution, which is crazy because someone coming into the criminal justice system is supposed to have the presumptions of innocence. And it wasn't even balanced whatsoever. It was completely weaponized against Donald Trump. That was a completely fake trial. Complete banana republic kangaroo court situation. It was crazy. But moving on, guys. JD Vance went on the Full Send podcast and tells the story of Donald Trump asking him to be his running mate. Yeah, I know we talked about this before, but he kind of went into a little bit more detail. And it's kind of funny. Listen.
The Monday morning of the Republican National Convention, that's the first day of it, we fly to Milwaukee we have 3 little kids, 7, 4, and 2. So we fly to Milwaukee, and I have no idea what's going on. And the plane doesn't have Wi-Fi on it. So it's about an hour flight, and I land, and I've got like 350 messages, right? And one of them is from somebody on the Trump campaign and says, hey, check your phone. Make sure you don't miss a call because a really important call's coming. So I'm like, oh shit, right? Either a good call or a bad call, but it's an important call. And about an hour later, I get another message from the same person who says, hey, you just missed a really important call. So I'm like, oh no. So I call Trump and I'm like, hey, sir, what's going on? He's like, JD, you missed a very important phone call. And now I'm going to have to pick somebody else. And I like tense up and almost have a heart attack. And the crazy thing about it is my son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me. And he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I am. Back in the day.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call. And he doesn't care. He's like, he doesn't know what the president of the United States means. So Trump hears him and says, who is that? I'm like, that's my 7-year-old son. He's like, put him on speakerphone. And so I do. And Trump proceeds to read the statement that he's about to put out, making me his VP nominee. And he asks my son, he's like, what do you think about that? And my son's like, oh, it sounds pretty good, And he goes, okay, fine. And he hangs up the phone and the statement goes out 5 minutes later. And then my whole life changed. And that's how it happened.
Wow. So I guess that's how it happened. That's how JD Vance became vice president. Yeah. So he went on Full Send podcast. Full Send podcast is like, for, I guess, Zoomers, Gen Z, and maybe younger millennials. One of the biggest YouTube channels. I don't know if they still have a YouTube. I think they might still have a YouTube channel, or did they get banned? But these guys used to do pranks, and they were actually very funny. They were one of the most popular YouTube channels in the entire world for a very long time. Now they have a podcast. So, they're kind of right wing, and they've had Donald Trump on, Elon Musk, JD Vance. So this is being seen by a lot of people. So very interesting story by JD Vance. What else do we have here? Looks like, okay. I really hate it when sometimes I click on something and it's not what I thought it was going to be. One second. Let me see if I can find this. I had this thing, this ActBlue. Here we go. Okay. We're good. We got it. I saved a link. I clicked it. I thought it was the ActBlue link, but it was something else. Like, I found it. Here we go. So ActBlue is hit with a demand letter from Attorney General Jason Miyares from Virginia regarding accusation of campaign money laundering that is interfering in the U.S. election. So this is a letter that he sent to ActBlue. You guys know ActBlue is like this Democrat fundraising platform that you can donate to certain candidates. And it's also been exposed for a lot of really odd donation patterns that come from a lot of the donors on the site. And James O'Keefe is one of these ones that have exposed this, where he'll go to someone's house, he'll find someone on these donation databases, and you'll notice that they have donated, I don't know, like a few dollars, like 12,000 times in 1 year. Like, that's kind of weird. This guy is donating multiple times a day. That's odd. So he'll go to that person's house and say, hey, Mary, I see here you donated, 16 times last Monday to such and such campaign. Was that you? What? No. That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. So a lot of these names on these donor rolls are being hijacked. And this is why you see a lot of times when these Democrats come out and say, oh, look at all these small dollar donations have come in from X and Y candidates. It's just like, that's not real. They're trying to astroturf this idea that this candidate is a grassroots movement. Like, there's people that actually like this candidate, like low-level normal people, when in reality, it's just a bunch of small dollar donations from billionaires probably, or millionaires, or corporations somewhere, dark money, if you will. So I never trust that whenever they say, oh, this candidate has, small dollar, 60% of their donations are donations under $10 or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're full of BS. But this is what was sent to ActBlue. It says, my office has become aware of multiple serious allegations that ActBlue Civics, Inc. and ActBlue Charities, Inc. have engaged in fraudulent, deceptive, and or illegal activities in the Commonwealth of Virginia and or have aided and abetted others in doing so. This includes hundreds of thousands of dollars of contributions through individual donors in Commonwealth in volumes that are facially implausible and appear suspicious. So this kind of like what I just described to you just a second ago. This one individual, that's kind of a made up situation, but just to give you an idea of of the types of stuff that is happening. Like, one individual, $8,000 in 1 year, or 600 times in 1 month. That kind of stuff was happening all the time, or is happening currently all the time on ActBlue. This includes hundreds of thousands of dollars of contributions through individual donors in the Commonwealth in volumes that are facially impossible. Some of these Virginia donors are reported as making multiple daily contributions over the course of multiple years, amounting to tens of thousands of dollars in aggregate. Furthermore, some of these individuals are senior citizens, list their occupation as not employed or retired, and or list suspicious addresses. Taken together, these circumstances appear to indicate that contributions via ActBlue are being made from fictional donors or dummy accounts, or that information reported by or through ActBlue may be fraudulent. Alternatively, these circumstances may indicate that contributions via ActBlue are being made without the reported donor's consent or awareness. And James O'Keefe has proven this. He's gone directly to the houses of these individuals. Hey, did you donate $12,000 in August? What? No, what are you talking about? Additionally, the aforementioned suspicious contributions may implicate other provisions of Virginia and federal law. My office is aware that ActBlue acts as a conduit for political candidates in Virginia, and that some of these contributions may have been directed to Virginia candidates. For the reasons mentioned above, these contributions may also violate multiple provisions of Virginia's campaign finance laws. So Jason Miyares, Attorney General of Virginia, going after ActBlue. Let's freaking go. Yes. Very quickly, guys. acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe says that local law enforcer So let me repeat that. Acting Secret Service Director says local officer sent radio message about gunmen before Trump was pew-pewed, and that the Secret Service, you see that? They never got it. Let's check this out. During a press conference on Friday, Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe said a local officer had sent a radio message out that someone had a weapon on the roof before they were fired at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally on July the 13th. Rowe's comments came after he testified in a hearing earlier this week about the failures of the Secret Service during the assassination attempt. Rowe was asked during the Friday's press conference if there was a radio message sent out by any local law enforcement officers about the person later identified as Thomas Crooks. And this is what he said. Listen.
So with respect to the former president wanting to get back out there, listen, it's a campaign season, right? Candidates want to be out there. They want to be, whether it's an indoor site or an outdoor site, it's on the Secret Service to make sure that we create a secure environment.
Actually, I don't think that's the one. Let's see, where is it? That was a different tweet. I don't know why they don't include that tweet in here. That was a completely different one. But also what's wild is this right here, guys. This is what I find insane. No one has been fired. 0 people has been fired from, I guess, the Secret Service is where these individuals came from, or that was in charge of this rally, were from the Pennsylvania field office. No one has been fired. And not only that, but Ronald Rowe, when he was asked about this, he basically played the victim. Like, how, kind of talking in a way where, oh, you guys are being so mean to the Pennsylvania field office. Like, what are you even talking about? Someone died and Donald Trump almost died. What are you talking about? Listen.
I need to ask you, since you testified, has anyone been suspended with or without pay? Has anyone been fired? And will you tell us as people are disciplined along the way, or is this something we're going to need to just constantly be asking? Or will you update and tell us 5 people have been fired, 6 people, 7 people? What can you tell us?
Sure. Thank you for that question, David. So, as I said in my opening statement, there are going to be, there's the mission assurance review. If that mission assurance review is looking into if there were policy violations, at that point now, if in fact there were policy violations, at that point now it'll go into a parallel path of a disciplinary type of investigation. Those are internal investigations that deal with employee matters, so we're not going to be able to provide real-time updates or continuously to provide you updates on that. But what I will tell you is that these are very thorough investigations, and if in fact there were policy violations and they are substantiated, those employees will be held accountable.
I think if I just make sure people want accountability, you may not be able to tell us names or people have been disciplined.
Some type of.
So there was also another clip that I guess I don't have, or that is not included in this, where he was talking about how bad the Philadelphia field office feels about this when being pressed on why isn't someone being fired. And he basically victimizes them, saying how bad they feel and, oh, you guys got to stop. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but kind of along those lines, which kind of shows you that the Secret Service has gone woke, or they're using this as a shield to try to shield criticism. Like this guy, he's been in the Secret Service for 25 years. This guy is the one, reportedly, who is responsible for taking away protections at that rally. Now, this guy is the spokesperson for the Secret Service. He is the acting director of the Secret Service. It's incredible, guys. Incredible. But we won't dwell on that too long. Last one we're going to talk about, because we are out of time, guys. And we'll get to the chats. Democrats and illegal immigrants march on Washington, D.C., demanding the right to vote for all of the, what? He says here, 20 million illegal immigrants, illegal aliens in the United States. Yes, guys, we must grant them the right to vote. It's very important. Listen.
Do you think illegal immigrants should be able to vote?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're paying taxes and you're putting money into the economy for a country that you've lived at for over a decade, yes, I think you should have a voice in the people that are making rules on your life.
You kick us out, you better get a seat right next to us and buckle up. Because it's all of us or none of us.
Do you think illegal immigrants should be able to vote in this next election?
I do. They live in this country. They have a purpose being here. And every vote should count. Everybody should be able to have a place to speak, whether your documentation status. That shouldn't be affected because you're living in this country, so that's going to affect you whether you have documentation or not.
It's not legal for an illegal.
So you guys get it. You guys get it. Democrats, of course, they're demanding the right to vote for illegal immigrants. I mean, absolutely insane. So that means basically for what happens in if this actually went through, somehow these people believe that everyone in the entire world has the right to meddle in what happens in the United States directly. So anyone, doesn't matter where they're from, they believe should be able to come in and directly meddle in our elections. And that be codified into law. That be not just legal, but enforced legally. Like if you walk over this line between Mexico and the United States or Canada and the United States, as long as you walk over, you can vote. You can decide, the local sheriff of whatever town you land in. Or you can decide the representative. Someone from, say, Russia could come over here and just land in the United States and start voting. Or millions of people from, say, other countries like Venezuela, Mexico, South America, they can come in, just decide what happens in your elections and what representatives and people and how people represent you to Washington. They have the ability to decide that. They believe that that is something that should be codified into law. These people are nuts in the head. Do they even have a brain? I'm not sure if they do. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the chat. How are you guys doing this Saturday? It is Saturday. We have Michelle C in the chat doing a fantastic job as always. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for modding, doing a great job. Hey, we got Aries Vixen in the chat. Says a lot of people don't live in reality. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that is so true. A lot of people don't live in reality. Yeah, a lot of people, they live in some fictional world that quite literally does not exist. That has been, it's been constructed for them by the mainstream media, mostly. It's like this false reality that has been constructed and carefully, crafted to where they view it and they believe it's reality, and they will say it's reality. They will defend it as reality, but it is not, in fact, reality. Michelle says, bunch of indoctrinated idiots. Yeah, it's sad. It really is sad. Anthony says, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't have said it better myself, Anthony. Who else do we got in here? Michelle says, I'm not going to ask if you're going to cover President Trump's rally today, Andrew. Okay. I may not. We'll see. Patrick H. Hey, man. He says, I'm new to the show and chat. Hello, Patriots. God bless America. Hey, thank you, Patrick. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for today. Actually, I think I have a couple new members. 1 second here. That have joined since the last show. If you guys would like to join as a member, I have the link in my description. And you get access to a members only chat and members only content that I post from time to time. But we have, looks like 2 new members since yesterday. Raven Wings, did I mention that one already? I might have. But Raven Wings 33 and Bill Phillips, welcome. Raven Wings and Bill to the members only section. If you guys are members and you haven't yet, make sure you go to the members only section on my YouTube channel. Under posts, there is a link. There is a link to the Discord chat. So if you are a member and you join, make sure you join the members only Discord chat. I think you would enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for the day. If you haven't yet, if you could please leave a like on this video, I would appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. And if you'd like to support the show, the best way to do that is to become a member. Yes, you get a cool little members badge. And like I said, you get access to the members only chat and members only content from time to time. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you have a great weekend. Goodbye. See you Monday. God bless.